Deregulating America's Highways, a Carter classic. Buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to take a trip down memory lane. It's 1979, disco is dying, and Jimmy Carter is president. Remember him? Yeah, the peanut farmer guy. Well, he wasn't just handing out legumes, he was signing legislation that shook up America's trucking industry like a big old 18-wheeler hitting a pothole. Now, you might be thinking, trucking deregulation? Sounds riveting. Okay, maybe not, but trust me, this is important stuff. We're talking about the backbone of the American economy here, folks. Everything you buy, everything you use, it probably rode on a truck at some point. Carter, along with a fresh-faced Senator Joe Biden, yes, that Joe Biden, believed that the trucking industry was being stifled by too much government regulation. They argued that this was leading to higher prices for consumers and less efficiency overall, so they decided to do something about it. And with a stroke of his pen, Carter unleashed the Motor Carrier Act of 1980, a piece of legislation that would change the face of trucking forever. It was a bold move, a gamble, some might even say presidential. The Motor Carrier Act of 1980. What's the big rig deal? So, what exactly did this earth-shattering act entail? In a nutshell, it removed many of the federal regulations that had been in place since the Great Depression. Before, the Interstate Commerce Commission, ICC, had a tight grip on the industry, deciding who could haul what, where they could go, and how much they could charge. It was like trying to parallel park a semi-truck in a thimble. Not easy. The 1980 Act changed all that. It made it easier for new trucking companies to enter the market, increase competition, and gave companies more freedom to set their own rates. The idea was that this would lead to lower prices for consumers and a more efficient trucking industry overall. But like any good action movie sequel, there were bound to be some unintended consequences. Some argued that the deregulation would lead to a race to the bottom, with trucking companies cutting corners on safety and wages to stay competitive. Others worried about the impact on smaller trucking companies, who would now have to compete with the big dogs. Only time would tell who would come out on top. One thing was for sure, the trucking industry was in for a wild ride. Long-haul effects, deregulation's lasting impact. So, how did deregulation shake out for the trucking industry? Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag. On the one hand, the industry boomed. New companies popped up like mushrooms after a rainstorm, and the number of trucks on the road skyrocketed. Competition increased, and prices for consumers did indeed go down. However, there were some downsides. The deregulation led to a dramatic increase in the number of trucking companies going bankrupt as they struggled to compete in the new cutthroat market. Wages for truck drivers stagnated, and many drivers found themselves working longer hours for less pay. The deregulation also had a significant impact on unions. The Teamsters, the powerful union that represented many truck drivers, saw its membership plummet as non-union trucking companies gained market share. This weakening of unions has been cited as a contributing factor to the decline in wages and working conditions for truck drivers in the decades since deregulation. Road to the future, trucking in a changing world. Fast forward to today, and the trucking industry is facing a whole new set of challenges. The rise of e-commerce has led to an explosion in demand for trucking services, but it has also created new pressures on the industry. Traffic congestion, driver shortages, and concerns about the environmental impact of trucking are all issues that will need to be addressed in the years to come. So where do we go from here? That's the million-dollar question, folks, and one that has no easy answers. Some argue that we need more regulation to address the negative consequences of deregulation, such as low wages and safety concerns. Others believe that the best way to address these challenges is through technological innovation, such as self-driving trucks. One thing is for sure, the trucking industry is constantly evolving. What the future holds for this vital sector of the economy remains to be seen. But one thing is for certain, it'll be a wild ride. Now tell us what you think. Did Carter's gamble pay off? Let us know.